Welcome to the deep dive. Really glad you could join us today. We've got something quite interesting to unpack. Our source is basically just a title. Excerpts from The Best Countries for Immigrants in 2025. Yeah, no, just the title. But hang on, there's actually a lot there. A title like The Best Countries for Immigrants in 2025. It's more than just words, right? It really signals something about global trends, doesn't it? About what nations are starting to prioritize. So, okay, let's unpack this. What does a title like that even tell us before we see any lists?
Well, it's fascinating, actually. The title itself points to something really significant happening right now. It tells us immigration isn't just being seen as, a social issue anymore.
Yeah.
The very idea of ranking countries for immigrants suggests nations view immigration strategically, quantifiably even. They're essentially competing for talent, for people. They're recognizing the impact newcomers have economically, culturally. So just that framing right there in the title gives you a powerful way to look at global dynamics and how countries are thinking about the future.
That's a great point. It's like countries are almost branding themselves, like businesses trying to attract top employees. So if a country wants to land on a best of list like this, what kind of things are we talking about? What are the implied criteria baked into that title?
Exactly. They're definitely multifaceted. It's not just, are there jobs? It's about real economic opportunity.
Yeah.
Think specific industries or how easy it is to start a business, maybe innovation hubs, things like that. And then there's the whole social integration piece, which is huge.
Yeah.
How welcome do people feel? What are the paths to, say, permanent residency or citizenship? Are there support systems? Quality of life, obviously. Healthcare, schools, safety, cultural life. And crucially, the legal side, the policies. Are the immigration laws clear, fair, stable? You put all that together, that's what makes a place really stand out.
Right, so it's a whole package deal, not just one thing, but an entire ecosystem, really, for success and belonging. And this gives you, our listener, a kind of shortcut, doesn't it, to grasp these big forces shaping global migration. But let's push that a bit. What about the ranking itself, the act of creating and publishing it? Does that actually change things? Does it nudge countries to, improve their score?
Oh, absolutely. These kinds of rankings, they can definitely influence national branding, for one. And policy, too. Countries see the metrics. They might actively think, okay, we need to improve here, It could spark reforms, maybe aimed at attracting certain skilled workers or entrepreneurs. Plus, it shapes perception, both at home and abroad. It can highlight the value of immigration, maybe even foster a more welcoming attitude if a country wants to climb that ladder. It shifts the dialogue. It moves from just sort of managing immigration to strategically leveraging it.
Wow. So even though we literally just had the title, this deep dive really unpacks the weight those few words carry. It frames this whole global conversation about people moving, about opportunity, and what really makes a place welcoming and successful for immigrants. It reminds you that these big global movements are tied up with national strategies and, well, the whole environment a country offers.
Exactly. And maybe taking this a step further, it brings up a really interesting question for you listening. Beyond any official ranking, beyond the criteria we've talked about, how might your own personal idea of a best country for immigrants change, as the world shifts, or depending on individual needs? What factors, deep down, would matter most to you when thinking about a best country in this changing world?
That's a perfect closing thought. It really pushes you to think about all those pieces, economic, social, legal, and how they're always moving, always influencing where people choose to build their lives. Thanks for diving in with us today.